Hello and welcome back to day 2 or step 2 of trying to get yourself out of anxiety. Now, the second step for me in moving out of being anxious was after accepting, as I discussed yesterday, and noticing where I am and admitting that anxiety is something that I deal with. It was realising that there are other things that I can do and that you can do too to help you get out of this. So there are other things available and there are options that can help, but we just need to access them. So by understanding that there are different options, it might feel really overwhelming to think of getting out of this pattern, because quite often anxiety becomes your coping mechanism, your safety mechanism to get through. So you go to anxiety to avoid the things that are making you anxious in the first place. So you could have gone through a period of trauma or suffered a loss or not coped very well with something, making you anxious. At any time you come up against a situation that's similar, where you feel you might be on your own or struggling with a situation, you go to anxiety. Well, I certainly did go to being anxious to get away from the thing itself. So anxiety would become the thing that I went to, and then I would spend a lot of time being anxious to avoid other things, and anxiety would take over. And then the more I think about anxiety, the bigger the anxiety and the fear gets, and the whole day's wiped out to the point where I couldn't do anything, couldn't get out of bed. And the health anxiety, which is what my thing was out of control, just basically taking moments away from me each and every day. But the moment I realised there were options so that I could take this feeling away, it gave me a bit of hope. And it's from this point that I started to move along the pathway and the journey to heal. Now, all of these steps, however small they are, they're so important. It may not feel like it, and if you're really anxious right now and overwhelmed and you've come across this video for support, and yesterday's video says accept how you feel, you might think, oh, that's great, yeah, accept it, that's helping me right now. And then today's video is knowing there's a way out. But the thing is, we have to go through these motions to be able to make the steps, because fast forwarding too quickly or trying to get to an end result without taking these steps and facing what's going on, it makes it really difficult for the changes to be sustainable. So I had quite a long process trying to find out what was going to work for me, but I did recognise that there were other options and things that I could do. So knowing that is another really important step. Now, I'm going to be using mindfulness and meditation and other different tips and bits and pieces that I've learned to do with like writing, healing, surrounding myself with certain people, attending different things. And all of these steps helped me get out of being anxious and catching myself at different points. But there are other things if what I share doesn't work for you. So if you come to these videos and it doesn't help with your anxiety for whatever reason, don't give up there. Know that there are always options and other ways to help you get out of how you're feeling, because you don't need to live the rest of your life anxious. That doesn't have to happen. And there are other ways and many different options for you to get support and help with this. I've got family members and friends with mental health issues, and I know that sometimes just going to these steps might not be enough, and you might need to also seek alternative help, and that's okay too. So all I'm trying to do is, along these 12 steps, is just open up the pathways for you to find your way, really, because you've got everything that you need to be able to come out of it, and it doesn't have to be this way forever. So just know that there is help, know that there are other ways, and when I come back tomorrow, it's what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be starting to break this down and really open up into the different things that have helped me, hoping that they also help you with taking anxiety away as best we can. And even if it resurfaces, knowing that you've got the tools to be able to catch yourself that little bit earlier each time. So I hope this is making a bit of sense, the way that I'm sharing it. just doing it in the way that I found it helpful for me to get out of those anxious patterns which were taking over my life, and just accepting where you are and knowing that there is help are the first 2 steps. So take a bit of comfort in that. Again, acknowledge how you're feeling. If you feel comfortable sharing that with someone, brilliant, and know that there are ways to get out of the way that you're feeling. If it's on a regular basis, it doesn't have to be that way. And I will be back with step 3 tomorrow, so thank you for tuning in.